All right, let's talk about retirement. But I want you to forget everything you thought you knew. Today, we're ripping up that old playbook because, let's be honest, Gen X is completely changing the game when it comes to working past 65. And more importantly, we're going to look at exactly how they plan to win.
So here's our game plan. First, we've got to get a handle on what's really going on, the new reality of retirement. Then we're going to unpack count 'em, five powerful strategies to put you back in the driver's seat. We're talking about everything from mastering a hybrid hustle to a pretty radical cost-cutting rule. We'll even get into building a tax-free fortress and a simple but brilliant hack to get way more out of your Social Security.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about this new reality. What has actually changed? We're going to break down the core problem facing Gen X and, the huge pivot that's now required.
This quote, it just hits the nail on the head. That whole postcard fantasy of retirement, right? The endless golf, the cruises, just completely clocking out at 65. Yeah, that picture is, well, it's fading fast. For Gen X, the whole landscape just looks totally different now. And get this, a 2024 study from Northwestern Mutual boiled this whole new reality down to one single, incredibly powerful number. This is the percentage of Gen Xers who fully expect to still be working long past the traditional retirement age of 65.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's almost 1 out of every 2 people in an entire generation. This isn't some niche thing anymore, not at all. For Gen X, working past 65, that's officially the new normal.
So that leads to the big question, right? What's behind this massive shift? Are people doing this because they have to? Or is it because they actually want to? And the answer, well, it's a little complicated. It's kind of both. For the majority, we're talking 56%. It really just comes down to money. Simple as that. They need the cash to cover the bills. But for a huge chunk, 44%, it's about something else entirely. It's about staying in the game, staying sharp, having a sense of purpose, and, just that day-to-day connection with people.
And that's the key takeaway here. We have to stop looking at this as some kind of failure to retire. It's not. This is a total rewiring of what this whole chapter of life even looks like. It's not an end point anymore. It's a transition point.
So the big question is, how do you actually win in this new reality? All right, let's get into our first strategy, mastering the hybrid hustle. Think of this as your new income playbook. Look, the goal here isn't to just keep grinding away at another 9 to 5. No way. It's about building a whole portfolio of income streams that are, frankly, a lot less stressful. So, step one, you start with what you already know, right? Maybe some high-skill consulting to keep those expert muscles flexed. Then, step two, you build what we're calling a passive income plug, something that's literally making you money while you sleep. And finally, you add a fun money gig, something you actually love doing that just so happens to bring in a little extra cash.
But listen, making money is only half the battle, right? You've also got to get a serious handle on your expenses. Which brings us to our second big strategy, the 55-30 cost-cutting rule.
So here's the deal with this one. The goal is to slash your living costs by a whopping 30%. But here's the kicker, not at 65. You do it a full decade earlier, at age 55. And how do you pull that off? Well, it could mean moving somewhere cheaper, downsizing your house, maybe even renting out a small unit for some extra cash flow. And every single bonus or windfall you get, you throw it at the mortgage with the goal of completely wiping it out by age 60. Radical, right? Okay, strategy number 3. This one's all about cashing in on the decades of skills you already have in your toolkit. It's time to profit from your pivot. We're calling it the Encore Career Launchpad. And you know what? The launch sequence for this is actually way simpler than you'd think. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, just list 3 of your top skills. The ones you could use anywhere. Think project management, marketing, whatever. Step 2, grab a quick, cheap online micro-credential, something from Coursera or Google, just to show you're up to date. And step 3, go land a small pilot project on a site like Upwork or LinkedIn. That's it. It's like a 3-step countdown to a whole new beginning. But does this stuff actually pay off? You bet it does. An AARP report found that 2/3, that's 67%, of these Encore workers actually make more per hour than they did in their old school careers. How amazing is that? Okay, let's talk about defense. Our next strategy is all about protecting what you earn. It's time to build yourself a tax-free fortress. And the MVP here is the health savings account, the HSA. Why? Because it has this secret weapon. It's called the triple play. Your money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, and when you use it for medical stuff, it comes out tax-free. It's just an incredible tool.
So the basic idea is to get your money into accounts where it can grow and be taken out completely tax-free. And as you can see here, you've got a few really powerful options. You've got Roth conversions, which are awesome because there are no income limits. Then there's the HSA, which, like we said, is the real superstar with that triple tax advantage. And hey, if your 401k plan allows it, the mega backdoor Roth is just, well, it's a way to stash a massive amount of cash into tax-free savings.
And that brings us to our final strategy. This might just be the single biggest lever you can pull to boost your retirement income. We're talking about Social Security. And this is the Work to 70 hack. Okay, so here's the play. It's simple, but it's powerful. Instead of grabbing your Social Security as early as possible at 62, you hold off. You use your savings, your side gigs, whatever to bridge the gap until you're 70. Now, why on earth would you do that? Because for every single year you wait, your benefit gets a guaranteed, permanent boost. I mean, just look at the difference here. Claiming at 62 is fine, it's a solid base, but waiting until 70, you can nearly double that annual income for the rest of your life. It's huge.
So what does that actually add up to? Over a 20-year retirement, that delay could mean an extra, wait for it, $276,000. I mean, that's just a staggering amount of money. It's life-changing, and it all comes down to just being smart about when you decide to claim.
Okay, so where do you even start with all this? This isn't just a bunch of ideas, right? Here is a concrete 30-day kickstart plan to get you going. Week 1, run that 55-30 expense audit. See where the money's going. Week 2, update your LinkedIn, list those encore skills. Week 3, pour everything you can into your HSA. Max it out if you can. And in week 4, just launch one tiny passive income experiment. See what happens. The key is just to start. So let's just wrap it up with this thought, that 48% of Gen Xers, the ones who aren't stopping at 65, they're not victims. They're not casualties of some broken system. No, they are the new architects. They're designing a retirement that actually works for them on their own terms. So I guess the only question left is, what are you going to start building today?